Hey guys, welcome back to the D&Y Podcast, or as you may know it, the Donuts and Yogurts Podcast. I'm just kidding.
I'm Donuts and Yassine is Yogurts.
Yes,
That was a good one. I gotta tell you, I didn't expect that one. That was very good. That
I
was
had
very
to
good.
do that.
Welcome, guys, to this podcast episode. It
Yeah,
isn't it isn't called D&Y because it's Donuts and Yogurts. It is Dimitri and Yassine, and we're very
exactly.
pleased to welcome you on this podcast episode. Yassine, how are you today?
I am doing great today, bro. Today is a great day, and every day is a great day because when you're alive, you can go out there and conquer life. And as long as you've got your health, you've got your family, then you're blessed and ready to go. That's
True
what I've
that.
learned
True
in
that.
this
True that.
past month.
True that.
What about you? How are
I
you
am
today?
I am fantastic, man. I am fantastic. I'm gonna go into the sauce directly. Last week I was at the Invest Messe in
Mhm.
Stuttgart. For the people that aren't in this niche, it's an investment fair where a bunch of brokers and people who are into finance get together and companies have their stand there and they show off. It's just an investment fair basically. And one of my clients that I have is I was invited there to do two presentations about P2P loans. I'm not going to go too much into details, but
Oh,
these are investment loans. And so he did two presentations about that. So I was invited there by him to record content for him. Ergo, the presentations that he did there, as well as some interviews where we asked the people visiting the fair what their best investment was, which we then all posted to his account on YouTube, which went very good. Some mistakes that we now can learn from for the next time. We messed up things with the microphones, so one of
mm,
the video we sadly cannot use now because the audio was corrupted, but now
ah,
we made sure we learn for next year and then we hopefully don't make the mistake again next year. But yeah, it happens. You got to learn from it. The important thing is that we don't make the same mistake next year. But
yeah.
to go to my wisdom nugget now, I don't want to talk too much about that, but it was a wonderful experience there. And since there were many investment people there were also people with money, and I bought business cards
Mm,
for myself with like credentials on it, and I wanted to give them to some people and just talk to some people, and there were faces that I knew because
mm,
while editing content for my client, he obviously sometimes made interviews with
yeah,
partners from like P2P loan platforms and people from there. So I knew some faces, and at first I was very scared to talk to people. I was overthinking how should I start the actual conversation? How should I go start talking to them? And I was like, I don't know how. And then at some point I was so pissed at myself that I didn't have the balls to go talk to these people, that at some point I just did it. I just went up to them without thinking of what actually to say, but I figured it out somehow. I said something and then we got into the conversation, and the conversation was great. These people were happy to talk to me, and this was just a wonderful
yeah,
thing that showed me, hey, you just got to do it. Most people, like, they won't say go away, piss off. That's not
yeah.
what they're going to say. If you feel the vibe is off, you can just turn around and go talk something else. But I never had that. And in the evening, I was invited to a networking dinner. And same thing there. At first, I was a bit shy, didn't know what to say. But then I just went up to these people, I shook their hands and said, hey, my name is Dimitri. I'm the cutter. Um, who are you? And then, the conversation went along. They had questions what I was doing. I had questions what they were doing, and it was wonderful. Like most
Wow.
people are actually happy, and especially at a networking dinner, people go there to network. So,
Yeah,
I mean, that's the whole purpose they're there. So, yeah,
yeah.
a big learning on my side there. It was wonderful.
I think, wow. Well, I mean, I could tell probably the hardest thing for you was going up there and talking to them because I know
Yeah,
that's a bit out of your comfort zone.
it is. It was
Um,
a big step out of my comfort zone, but it was great, and I don't regret it at all. I'm glad I did it.
yeah. Now Dimitri, guys, is gonna be a social butterfly. You're gonna see. He's gonna
I'm gonna be
be
extroverted now. No,
exactly,
maybe not,
exactly.
but it's getting better. I'm improving. I'm trying to.
Yeah. No, keep doing that, and I think networking events are one of the best ways to do that because like people actually wouldn't mind if you go talk to them, you know? And if you go talk to them in a coffee shop, you can still do that. I've done that a few times, but you got to be a bit careful, especially because, we're in Switzerland. So you got to be aware of the context. People might not want to be bothered when they're taking their coffee, or some go to work. So you got to be careful of that. Um, but honestly, chapeau, bravo, you know?
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate
Um,
that. Appreciate that. It was a big win for me last week.
for me, bro, I also had a big win yesterday. Um, I'm usually not the type of person, when I'm in a situation and I don't really like it, it's hard for me to step away, especially if it like involves people. If I don't like the vibe, it's hard for me to be like, I'm leaving, you know? But yesterday, I was sitting in a place and people were talking, people I knew, at uni, they were talking, and I was like, hmm, I don't like the vibe here. Something's off, They're talking about stuff that seem off and seem a bit disrespectful. And instead of staying, old me would have been like, I'll just stay, But I was like, you know what, bro? No, you gotta respect yourself. So I stood up and I left and I went to like a coffee shop and I started working. Then one of my friends hit me up and was like, hey, I'm gonna go to class. So I went back because my friend was going, and I liked that friend. But my point is, when you're in a place or in a situation where you don't like it, don't stay there just to people please. Just leave. Because oftentimes I was the type of person who was like, "Oh, what will they think? Blah 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 blah." Bro, they won't give a fuck about you in 10 years time. So who
That's
cares? Just
usually the case. Yeah, we're both the same because I can relate to this a lot. Sometimes you just don't want to leave, or you feel like they were going to judge you. And I mean, even if they will,
mm-hmm.
let them judge you.
Let them.
It's
Yeah,
not easy not to care. I'm not saying that I never care anymore, but
of course.
sometimes you gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because then I've done it so many times, man, and your respect for yourself increases when you actually are like, this is not this is not worth my time. I'm not gonna entertain this. I got better things to do. Let me go and do something else instead of spending my time here sad or regretting it later.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
yeah,
Then you can get some work done and be productive.
exactly. So, I'm going to let you introduce us to the topic of today. It was your idea. Um,
To
oh, yeah.
to correct you, it was your idea because you brought it up. But I said today, hey, let's talk about this idea that you proposed when we recorded the last episode. That was one of the options, and
Oh,
I thought that was interesting. Just to give you the credits, I'm not gonna take the credits that you deserve, but
thank you, man.
the topic is passion business versus boring businesses. And just to give an overview, lots of people today are trying to, have something that they're passionate about and something that looks good being their business. So they want to build a business where, I don't know, they sell supercars, they sell jets, they sell something that looks good and the business looks good and it's their passion. They turn their passion projects, for example, they like cars, so they turn their business into something around cars. Or let's say they're passionate about planes or helicopters, whatever, they're turning into
Hmm.
that. So that looks good. And boring businesses, on the other hand, there's so many ways to have a boring business, but one example that comes to mind is, let's say there's a manufacturer of auto parts and they need a system, a software system to track what they have on stock.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
so you could be a company that builds the software for auto parts manufacturers' inventory. And like nobody would ever come up with that and say, that's my dream job. That's what I want to become one day. That's the business, the passion business that I want to do. I feel like there's not many people that would say they're passionate about building an auto parts inventory software. But I mean, if the demand is there and companies pay for it because they need it, and especially if you're the only one on the market doing it, for example, that can be such of high value and you can make so much money with it, although it is just a boring business.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good if you tell people about it, like it doesn't sound fancy, but it makes money. So
Yep.
just to tell you guys the difference between what we actually mean as a boring business and as a passion business. But passion business can be a lot more than just cars and planes and helicopters of what I talked about. It's just the examples that I used.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I fell asleep a bit when you were talking about that example. I'm just
Yeah, because it sounds boring, but there's so many. I cannot tell you. I know some people that do software engineering,
Mm,
and when they tell you about what like they do as their daily job, what their job is, like I have a friend, he will start working in a company, and they have for the healthcare companies in
mm,
Switzerland, they built the software to manage people's data. So you have a healthcare plan, I have a healthcare plan, and this data needs to be managed in
yeah,
some software, and he will work in building that software. And these are all things you would never think of, but
think of.
that's a multi-million-dollar industry here in Switzerland because everybody has health insurance. Everybody has health insurance, so you gotta have a way to store that data, and the data then needs to be implemented and put into an app. For example, if you have your health insurance app where you can check your plan and change things and check your bills, check how much you pay, and this is all a management system that someone needs to program, and there needs to be a software engineer behind that. And it
Wow.
sounds so boring, but there's so much money to be made in there.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, if your friend is able to do it, man, and he's not like out here complaining and crying and telling you, no, I wanna this nightmare to end, then I mean, it's
No,
good.
it is. So my first question to you, Yassine, on that
Yeah.
topic is, do you think people overrate their passion when they try to start a business?
That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's funny because I think there's two sides of people. There's the people that overrate their passion, and there's the people that underrate their passion. I think they both exist. I don't think there's the just middle between them. Um, I'll give you an example. When I started business, I was doing copywriting. Actually, I was trying to find businesses that were as far away as possible from my passions, but were close to my skills, if you know what I mean. So, because I was like, nah, business is not passion. Alex Hormozy said if you do something related to passion, then it's going to ruin your passion, blah, blah, blah. So I stayed away from that. And then I became the other side at some point with voice acting, where I was complete passion. Um, and now I'm in the middle, kind of. I'll tell you why I think that the middle is the right place to be in, because there are some passions that can actually be made money. You can actually make money with them, especially if you're a bit smart. And nowadays, with like AI and all these things in social media, there's some people who literally sell their art and make money now. That I think if you told this to old artists, they would look at you and be like, "What? Just from the comfort of their home, they paint something and they put it online, and people now want to buy it and they sell it." And yeah, yeah,
NFTs was such a thing, right?
NFTs as well. That was
That
a
was
big thing.
that was a big hype, but I think it's gone now, or almost gone.
It is. But those who made money from it still made that money. So.
That's true. I think just to chime in, I'll let you finish to talk. A framework that I think or an equation that I think is really relevant when you start to try and build a business is, what are your interests, what are your skills, and what is the demand of the market?
That's a good one.
These three need to exist in some point, because I think without any interest in that topic, how are you going to build a business if it doesn't
Yeah,
interest you at all in any sense?
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Then, I mean, skills, you need to have some skills in that, or trying to build the skill for the specific business you're trying to start. And if there isn't demand, I mean, you're not going to make sales
Yeah,
and sell it to people. You need to have people that buy it from you. So I think these three
exactly.
need to exist in order for you to start a business.
Exactly.
And as you see, the word passion isn't in there. It's interest and skills. Like, you can be interested in something that is related to the business.
Yeah,
It doesn't need to be your whole passion or your whole hobby
exactly.
that you turn into a
Exactly.
business.
I think I like what you said about interest. You just reminded me a few years ago, I would listen to Gary Vee and he would say, if you're going to do a business, either do a business in something you're very curious about or
Mm-hmm.
something you know a lot about. Because he would say that's where this interest part is going to be. You know, if you know a lot about it, you're going to be good at it, you're going to want to keep doing it. Or if you're curious about it, you're going to want to keep learning about it and stuff. And I think that's very interesting. In my case, bro, I recently did a shift to my business a little bit where I'm still reaching out to people with voice acting but I've taken it more as like, oh, this is something I do kind of, it's not the main business. It's something I do on the side, but what I've transformed it a bit into a format that is a little bit more, less, I'd say, close to my passions, but closer to my curiosity, interest, and the demand of the market. Also, demand of the market in the sense where there's less competition. Not just because sometimes you can have a good demand in the market, but there's a lot of competition. And if you switched it up a little bit, you can do it in a context where the competition is less. So, what I've started doing is um, proposing Arabic voiceovers and French voiceovers. Now, I have an interest in wanting to learn Arabic more, and that's a good thing because it's forcing me to develop my Arabic more instead of being like one day, one day, one day. And the other thing that is very interesting though is although that was my initial intention, I realized that like to scale this, it will be a little bit hard to just do myself all the voiceovers, you know? So I tried to find ways to speed things up and I found some ways like to use the help of AI to help make, more of that content if people need it. And that was something that if old me was like, I gotta do it this exact way, how I want it, he would have not accepted that I need to shift and try to find a solution that scales and maybe uses AI with my voice, you know? And then recently, this client that I just got, he actually ended up telling us, guys, I don't want Arabic voiceovers. I actually want Arabic translations with editing. And that's a part I won't lie to you and tell you, I would be a liar if I came and told you I'm a fan of sitting down and translating things all day, right? But um, but I was like, you know what, Yassine, we've agreed. This is the business, and we gotta do what is best for business, what leads to growth. Passion, we've got our passion. We do our voiceovers on the side, the movies and things like that on the side. But this is the business. This is the one that gives you the money so you can build the things. I'm not saying you can't do your passion businesses, by the way. You can take that money and slowly build the passion businesses. Because I think passion businesses, Dimitri, they can happen, but they take longer, if I'm being honest with you. Like if I wanted to make Richard Banking, the content I'm doing right now, blow up overnight and become a business, that is very hard. But if I'm willing to wait 5 to 10 years, maybe less probably, then this guy can become a business that makes me a lot of money and has a lot more connection to my passion. But it needs a base. That is my belief. You need a business that is a little bit boring to do on the side so you can earn the money and fund your passion businesses that will give you big returns, but in 5, 10 years.
Yeah,
That's my belief.
I believe it's just good to find a middle ground.
Yeah.
if you try to find the only business where you enjoy everything about it, that's just impossible. It's shiny
Yeah,
object syndrome. You're always gonna do this and then for 30 days, and then
mhm,
you're gonna find the next business
exactly.
where you think, oh, I like this a lot, and then you're gonna find something else that you don't like about the business,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be just a complete failure.
yeah,
You have to go into the mindset with that business. I'm not gonna like everything about it, and
yeah,
there's some things that where I need to push through in order to get there. That's
yeah,
normal. It's with everything in life.
yeah,
You're not gonna enjoy everything about life. Some
exactly.
things are gonna be hard, and some things are gonna be unnatural for you to do, but you still need to do them.
Yeah,
But on the other hand, if the business you have gives you zero interest, eventually you're gonna burn out. And the thing that you said with, building a passion business takes longer. The advantage of also building a passion business is you're gonna be able to push through longer because
mm,
it's more interesting to you. It's your passion.
yeah,
It's what you burn for, and so it's gonna be easier for you to push through
yeah,
longer than
yeah,
with something that isn't interesting to you at all. So I
yeah.
think to find this middle ground is gonna be the key here.
You just made me realize something. You also have to find a middle ground that works for you. Like for me, for example, I'm building both a boring business and a passionate business, you know? And I'm looking at it as like the boring business is the one that more short term, going to bring in more short term because the demand for it right now exists. The long term one, like building characters or doing voiceover, this will come too. And I know it, I have conviction it will come. But until it comes, so that I'm not acting in a desperate way and trying to do things that ruin, in the case of like say Richard Bang, it ruined the character, you know, or and in the case of voice acting, make me act desperately and give terrible work to people or do roles that go against my values. I have something that is bringing me in some good cash and that is in demand and that I don't hate because yes, I don't love every aspect of it, but I still like it. It still follows my curiosity, my interest and stuff because when I did other things in the past that I did not like, I would burn out. I would spend a lot of time bitching and complaining and yeah, I have to admit it. And yeah, so I think you're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right
Yeah.
about that.
What I think as well is too much passion can be dangerous as well, because if
Hmm.
you have your passion project that you build and then you spend throughout or you spend your whole day and your whole energy on that, I mean, your passion or your hobby used to be what you love doing as a change of your work, of your main thing.
Yeah,
And now it
yeah,
is your main thing. So what are you going to use to like switch off? Iman Gaji said that once in a video. I don't remember the exact wording, but what I remember is he said he loved always to take photos and videos, but when he started then building his business and his agency around video and content creation, and when he started, you know, um, vlogging every day and showing what he was doing, it then became his main thing and he didn't enjoy it as much as
yeah,
before. So I think that can be very dangerous as well. I mean, I can
yeah,
speak for myself. I love shooting video and shooting photos and editing video as well. So I made the editing part turn into my daily job. But for me, it's always fun to, after work,
yeah,
to also just go and shoot photos for myself just to do it, right?
yeah,
It is still for me something different. But I also have other hobbies that I won't turn into my, main profession, such as doing sports, for example. That are things that I do after work or
yeah,
besides work. And I think that's very important to have that, because if
yeah,
that's all, maybe there's no like change. For some people that might be fine,
yeah,
I guess, but I think for me to have something else like exercise or whatever it is to recharge and do something else, I think that is very valuable. At least it is to me.
Yeah. No, I actually agree with you. And again, guys, like we're not like gods, you know, we could be wrong, but this is our point of view and what we're doing for ourselves. If you want to challenge us in the comment below, you can do that. You can do that, and we'll address. We'll actually, if you know, if we think you have a good point of view, we'll be like, yeah, I agree with you. I
Definitely.
think
It is a
that's
place
spot
to
on.
discuss in the comments. So if you
Yeah,
have anything, any feedback as well
yes, well, yeah.
on the podcast,
As long
just
as it's not mean, like, oh, your hair sucks, you know, stuff like that. That's fine.
yeah, that's true. Yassine, I have a next question for you.
Of course.
So as you already said, you transitioned from copywriting to voiceover,
Yeah.
and you made that transition of businesses. Do you think this was a passion decision or was this a business decision? What would you say?
I think this was a burnout decision. And also a circumstances decision, if I'm being honest with you. I realized, here's the thing, after thinking about it for a while, I really tried to stick with copy. I really did. And my friend, well, at one point, it got to a point where my friend was like, bro, why are you sticking to it? Every freaking time you come and tell me, I can't take this, I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. Why are you sticking with it? It sounds like you hate this. I was like, no, but you know, I don't want to be a pussy like Alex says. I don't want to quit, and you know, I don't want to be a quitter, you know.
At
So then
least
I
that's
thought
a good
about it.
mindset that you don't want to be a quitter. Because
Exactly, exactly. So then, bro, when I really realized this wasn't for me is when I was starting to get clients, and I didn't feel better. I was making more, I was starting to make money, and I was feeling worse. I was like, how can I get out at some point? How can I automate every part of this at some point, you know? And there was that part. So I was like, okay, if I've seen your patterns, every time you get a client, you end up trying to finish the work quickly and then be like, ah, guys, you know, I'm sorry, this is not working. Like I was like, bro, if this is the pattern that keeps happening, there's something wrong. And so it really changed when one of my friends asked me if you made 5,000 from this, because that was like my goal back then. You started making 5,000 a month from this, would you still do it? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. So he was like, then maybe you need to sit down and think because that's not a very reassuring answer. And then yeah, I sat down and I thought, but it's also Dimitri. I think a bit of luck was there because I was scrolling, I was like going through Upwork, and I was like, okay, what do I do now? Well, if I decided, let's say hypothetically, I decided to stop copy, what do I do now? I was like, I need something because I also realized the issue with copy that I had was that it used the same muscles that I needed for my uni stuff. As my uni stuff required a lot of research, a lot of writing, a lot of creativity and stuff, making up, you know, marketing things, and it took a lot of time. It was as if uni was another client of mine, you know? Uh, so, so I was like, okay, um, let's see things that we could do. There was UGC. I really liked UGC. Maybe I'll do it at some point as a, you know, if opportunities come for
I
it.
think that would fit you well actually in some points.
I
Like
had some people tell
I
me.
would see you market a skincare routine where you show like every morning what you put on your. I would see you there. No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. But I would actually see you doing UGC, not promoting a skincare routine, but I would see you doing UGC for sure.
yeah, yeah. You know, I could see myself doing that. Even for fitness stuff, you know, I could
Yeah.
definitely see myself doing this. So I'm not rejecting it. If some opportunities come for it, I'm open. And guys, if you are needing a UGC guy who's handsome, who speaks Arabic, French, and English, well, here's the handsome chap, you know.
If you
Um,
need someone for a skill care routine to do
as well.
UGC, I mean, you can
And
reach out to Yassine. No, we're just kidding, but I think it would actually suit you very well with what you're doing with Richard Banking.
yes,
I think that you're very well on camera, and I mean, there's multiple roles you can you can go into, and I think you do that very well. We're actually gonna, if we think of it, we're actually gonna link the Richard Banking account down
Yes.
below in the podcast description because you guys have to look at it. It is sometimes I don't expect it to come because just for context, it's you see him reacting, or Richard Banking, the role that he plays, reacting to some videos, and sometimes you don't expect it. You see a video, and then it's suddenly he pops up and he like gives his opinion on it, and it's quite funny. It's quite
Yeah,
funny.
thank you, man.
It catches you off guard sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. I've had people tell me I was watching this video and then you pop up out of nowhere.
So yeah,
But
we'll link it in the description, guys. Go check it out after watching the podcast. Have to check
yes.
it out.
Um, but what was I saying? Oh yeah. And so I was like, you know what? What can I do? And then I remembered when I do script writing, they sometimes look for voice actors. It's like, let me see if that's the case. So I saw there were people that actually wanted it. But instead of jumping in like right away, I was like, I'm just gonna put voice acting in my bio. That's all I'm gonna do on Upwork. And then I had a guy randomly reach out to me for this, and I was like, okay, that seems like a sign. That seems like a sign. So I made that switch, you know. I was like, I tried to keep copy still on the side, but something was really telling me, bro, let it go. Let it go. So I let it go eventually, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this voice acting thing and give it a shot. And yeah, it was very good, and I still like it, and I'm still doing it. But it's just not my only thing. Like, it's opened a lot of doors now as to what I think can be possible and can be done with like Arabic, French, and English. And I like it because I always wanted something that would eventually allow me to use all my languages, and something that would force me to also work on improving my Arabic even more. So that's like the perfect match, I'd say. So yeah, that was a long story. I'm sorry, but it
No,
was a
you're
burnout
good. You're good.
and
You're good.
circumstances as
That was
well.
very interesting. That was very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've said everything I wanted to say, and I've asked you everything I wanted to ask you on the topic of passion versus boring businesses.
Hmm.
So let us know in the comments, what business are you building? Are you building a passion or a boring business? A mix of the two? Tell us more about your business. We'd be happy to hear it. We're not going to invest yet into new startups because the money allocation isn't there yet, but maybe down the line. That could be a
Yeah,
good opportunity.
yeah,
No, but we would really be interested in hearing about you guys' story, what you're building, what mistakes, failures, what things are you learning along the way, because we're not alone in this. We all make mistakes along the way, and we all have struggles along the way. So I think to exchange that would be very interesting.
yes, yes. And we're human too, so we can learn from you guys. Dimitri, I wanted to ask you a question though. When you made the switch to video, because I know before video editing you did like coaching, if I remember correctly. When you
Yes.
made that switch, was it a passion decision, or was it like, I'm gonna follow a boring business decision?
No, it was actually a skill decision because just
Mm.
to give you some background story. So the first business or thing that I started is I wanted to do affiliate marketing in some
Oh yeah.
sense. And I never like made big results with it, and then I got sold into a coaching others how to do affiliate marketing like kind of business. Although I hadn't made myself results with it, because I got sold on somebody like, teaching me how to do it. And so, yeah, that was like the coaching thing that I was running. But I mean, I didn't have really the skill to like actually teach it because I didn't have an idea. It was like all pre-planned. Like the ones that were coaching me to do that, they already said what I needed to do and step by step. It was a bit, I mean, it sounds very scammy when you hear it. And so it was really a big skill difference
Yeah.
and also a bit of a passion thing. It's not that affiliate marketing didn't interest me at all. It was interesting, but for me, it was just that I didn't have the skills, man. And
Mm.
I had the skills of video editing and, you know, generally in videography, because that's what I was already doing for so many years at that point. I was doing an apprenticeship at that moment where I was using the camera all day and I was editing videos all day. And so for me, that was the closest thing to, hey, let's actually do that as a business and try it. I made an account on Fiverr, and that's where it all started.
Yep. Yep. Back then, Fiverr still worked, guys. It still does, but back then you could get go to people as well.
Yeah, you could reach out to people. I think
Yeah.
they put it back again where you can do that as well and
Oh.
send out things. But I mean, it changed, it evolved. It's not that it doesn't work anymore, it's that it doesn't work the same anymore as
Mm.
it worked back then. And I mean, back then, what was that? 3 years ago?
3 years or
Yeah,
four
about
years?
3, 4 years ago, yeah.
Mm.
And so that's how it all started.
That's a great story, man. Yeah, I think we cooked, sorry, and we ate. So, um,
We
if you
definitely did.
guys, if you guys think we cooked, comment below, whatever you want, leave a like and subscribe. And now we're gonna go to the most important part, the gratitude part. So feel free to join us in this. Um, 3 things that we're grateful for.
I can start if you want, so you have more time
Yes,
to think.
we have a
So,
volunteer. Go ahead.
so I'm very grateful to have had this experience last week at the Invest in Stuttgart. It was wonderful. I met a bunch of people that I didn't know before, had some amazing conversations. So I'm very grateful for that. That has been a big blessing, and thank you to my client as well there, who has invited me into all of this thing. Where without him, I wouldn't have lived what I lived last weekend. So that is wonderful. What I'm also very grateful for and that I am looking forward to, I am flying to Bali in the end of July, where I will be
Mm,
spending 8 months, not 8 months,
wow.
5 months, sorry, 5 months in Bali. And so I'm very much looking forward to that. And to have that opportunity is just wonderful because, I mean, if I had a normal job and I wasn't doing this business online and freelancing, I wouldn't be able to do this, to go there for so long. And so I'm very much looking forward to that. I know there's other digital nomads there that have a similar mindset, so I'm very, very, very much looking forward to meeting people there, exchanging, talking with them, and yeah, I'm just stoked to go there.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I think that's something, I don't know if it's a grateful thing, but I am very happy to have started vlogging where I, document my life and reflect on it, because it's an accountability tracker for yourself where you watch back every week and you know what you've done the last week. You know what you said you would do, and if you do, and you know if you've done it or not. So that has been a great accountability tracker. And I think the last thing, I'm at 4 now, but whatever, is my family and my girlfriend, which have always been a great people around me. And I think to have good people around you is always something that is very interesting,
Yeah.
very not interesting. It is
Important.
important. Thank you. That is very important to have around you. So I'm very grateful for that.
But before I do my gratitude thing, can I add something that kind of relates to what you said? When you asked me like what was also another factor that made me change from copywriting to voice acting, there is a factor I forgot to mention, which was there was someone who used to be in my school, I think I told you this before, who became an actress. And she, well, now she's very successful, God bless her. She's like the ambassador of Dior now. Um, but seeing this made me go like, you know what, bro? It's possible. It's possible to have everything you want or different things you want. So instead of being like this, maybe try to be like this a little bit. Um, so that was also, that's why am I bringing this up? Because I think something that also helps you is knowing that someone and seeing that someone has done what you want to do or something similar to it can be a big motivator.
Yeah, I think mindset-wise, something that is really impressive is that if you look at 100-meter runners,
Mm,
each time one runner breaks the record, it's very interesting to see how other people like
break
come
it.
close to the same very fast
Yeah,
because they've seen that someone else has done it. It's way likelier for others to achieve it as well, which I find so interesting. Like just
yeah,
because one breaks the barrier, somehow all the others manage to break the barrier as well
yeah,
very fast. So I think that is very interesting and goes to show that this helps you a lot. And if you put your mind to something, you believe in it, and you do it, and you push through it, and put work in it, towards it every single day, you can reach everything.
exactly. Spot on. So yeah, I just wanted to share that so I'm transparent with you guys. Um, the gratitude for me, there's so many things to be grateful for. Um, I'm grateful for this Egypt trip I went on to. I got to learn a lot more about my grandma, grandpa, and their history, uh, things they've done, things they've written, like books. That was amazing. Um, I'm also grateful for the fact that I have earned and became friends with a lot of great people this year that have helped me get a lot of good ideas and improve as a person. And I was able to create a WhatsApp group with them that you're a part of, Dimitri, and that's been very helpful. The people in that group have all been very helpful, so I'm grateful for that. Um, I'm grateful for the fact that I now started. I mean, I don't know if this can count as gratitude, but I think it can. I'm grateful for the fact that now I started like reading before going to bed, and that I have good stuff to read, and I've been learning a lot from the things I've read. Like yeah, recently I read a book on a wrestler's story, how he succeeded and failed, got fired, came back and conquered everything again, and that was very inspiring. And then the final thing I'm really grateful for is just my family's support, um, and their presence in my life. They've had a big impact on who I am as a person, and I'm grateful for each and every one of them. Same for my friends, honestly. So, yeah.
Good, very good.
Guys, let us know what you're grateful for, and we wish you a wonderful rest of your week. Subscribe so you can see more of our handsome faces on this channel, and take good care of yourself.
Take care. It was a pleasure. Bye bye.
Bye.